Hey, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going fine. And by the way, wow, awesome audio quality.
Yeah, I found this old headset I've had for a good long while, but just not been able to plug it in right and mess with the settings properly. Finally got this working, which was a godsend before my choices stream, so that was helpful.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It is really good. I mean, the audio, yeah, I heard that. And now I think it is the best audio I've ever heard from your side. And it's really good.
Yeah, I'm glad I've got this. It makes like reading choices a lot easier because I don't have to get so close to the mic, and I can actually mess with the audio because the audio can be quite loud on that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think if you use like earbuds and like headphones, it's fine. But like for people like me who don't use much, earbuds, it's kind of problem that you need to put your phone close to your ear, and if you are reading it also, so you can also see it at the same time. So that's a bit of a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth, and
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So how's it going?
it's been going great. Just been a lot of things going on, college
Mm.
finishing up and etc. Like other things etc. Been working on, you know, I guess employment as well, if that's ever going to happen, and as well as future college endeavors. And then I've been working on my choices streams and getting them in the air and just catching back up with choices.
That's really good. Yeah, it's really good that you started your a very scandalous proposal stream. I watched it and it was super awesome. I think and you nailed. I really liked how you did with Mitz's voice. It was really super awesome, and so far it's great.
Yeah, I've had quite a few nice comments, as well as like on Twitter and things. People enjoying the accent. So I'm just glad I can give people something to enjoy while starting up the stream. Just seemed right to fit it with starting this book for the first stream. No, it's coming really well together. I've really been enjoying the book and the streams.
Yeah. So a very scandalous proposal is just one book. So when it ends, do you have any plan to go for another book?
Oh, definitely. As for what book, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
So
tough one.
here's one suggestion for you. Something like a very scandalous proposal, The Unexpected Heiress. And I haven't read the book yet, also. So it would be super awesome to catch up on the book, with you for the first time. It would be super awesome.
Yeah, I could give that a go through. Definitely. That
Yeah,
sounds interesting.
yeah. Another British family, and in old times. So it's gonna be fun.
Definitely, I think I'll look into that then. Yeah, because it's going to be coming on quicker than I thought. Because with my current schedule, I do two choices streams a week, so they go by pretty swiftly. Trying to match fairly amount of episodes to how the plot's going. So that's been going really well actually. The I've actually got my Scans proposal finale coming this Tuesday or tomorrow
Yeah.
even.
So I guess just one chapter is left, right?
Three.
Three chapters. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, 16th chapter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right.
Yeah, we just
Oh, so,
finished
yeah.
chapter
13th,
13.
right?
Yeah, 13. Where
Like
we
slow burn. I think slow burn ended before 16.
yes, Slow Burn ended quite recently actually. It was really good. This I watched like I said I went through the whole thing and I loved it. Like we had three chapters. I don't remember which order they were in. So we had the chapter after the rap party, where we were starting to watch the premiere of the new show with one of our co-workers, and then we get pulled into the office by the main like can't remember what they used to call, but thing is Zara's office. I can't remember what her actual title is, and she called us in because we're supposed to be going on the show against Yvette's um, competitor Antoine on in Paris to prove who's the best cook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be really good. That was really good as well. But Zara tried to tell us to sabotage Yvette again, to go against her, to cause more drama and conflict, and we basically just said no, and so she fired us basically. and then we gave her a piece of our mind before we left, but we just weren't comfortable with that. We're not gonna sabotage her after we've told her time and time again. That's not what the show is. That's not who most people's main characters are. Um, and then everybody on the team was crazy mad. They all were mad at Zara after what she did. They were not happy at all. Uh, Things weren't feeling too great. We got picked up by Julia to spend a comforting night with her to feel better about ourselves. Of course, that was the diamond scene, but it was quite a nice one. Just quite a nice moment to try and gather your head, get used to it. And then we finally slouch back, and Yvette shows up all mad, went threatening to go crazy to Zara to get us back on the team, which in fact she does later on. But first, she takes us out on a drive. We'll go out to the countryside to a drive-in theatre, which was a bit of a nice touch actually, because even in the book said you don't see many drive-in theatres anymore really. But then he said, you've got to know where to look. And I think that was a nice touch. And that's when Yvette actually confessed her love to the main character. She even said it.
Wow.
And, of course, you have the choice to say the same or say other. But I think if you say other, it's just going to be really awkward. So they said the same. And it was a nice touching moment, They enjoyed the movie. They went back. Yvette called a meeting. She was full-on loaded at Zara, demanding that she take off for the show. And, just screw their chances at a second season, etc., etc. Actually, before that as well, we went to a cat cafe with Hudson and Vivian to try and talk things out, get used to some things as well. Just getting with the team, because this team's been with you through a lot. You've made some good friendships. Then you go back to the meeting. Yvette starts making demands of what's going to happen, or else things aren't going to go well. And before you know it, there's a proposition at the end. If if you two win the competition, you'll get your job back on the show. Basically, that's it. And she said, Yvette being very confident, she even said, yeah, easy, let's do it. Then going into the next chapter, you're on a plane with the team heading over to Paris, which was designed really well. The artwork for Paris was really nice. It reminded me of one of my old childhood movies, Ratatouille. That was
Home Alone?
ironic. Sorry?
What movie? Home Alone?
No, Ratatouille. It's a movie actually about food set in France. It's
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That one.
it's. Do you know what? I had a very strong vibe of that, which was a vibe I'm getting throughout the whole book. What else? Yeah, we got to the party. We were arranging to go into a late talk show before the actual event to kind of give some background and give some get some public opinion. So we went onto the show. Had a choice of a nice outfit, which was I think was one of my opinions, one of the best outfits in the game. It was like it was like a suit, but it had like a red burgundy dark theme, kind of a bit like a Dracula type outfit. But it was really nice, really really stylish. So you went onto the show. You described what was going on. You had the choice to be, a bit cocky, a bit bland, or you could be, good competitor, kind, caring, which is like one of the themes of the book is how you approach food. So one of the ending was kind and supportive. So going from the heart, which I think was one of the best ways to go through it. Then you finish up the talk show. You make sure you hype up the show for people to watch, and it was definitely a show to be memorized. And then you're starting to get ready for the actual competition, which is when Yvette starts getting a bit of a fright or a bit of a shock when she sees her ex-fiance, who is her competitor's now fiance, which is a bit weird because I think she cheated on him with him, which was pretty messed up. She's in the audience, shouting his name at the top of her lungs, and just to no avail surprise, she has no sympathy or remorse after that time in Japan, which is pretty awful, if I have to say. She's I don't see why anyone would fall in love with her at all. So then we get to the competition. The show starts up. You run into Antoine's little partner because the way they do it, they have a chef and the sous chef. He has this smug little partner from New York who's very cocky and very irritating. Or Mark. He seems very cocky that he's going to win, but Overconfidence makes you careless, apparently. At least that's kind of what we got from that. And then we went to the stage, started it up, and the whole show we just started making appetizers. Working our way up for 3 hours. So we had to make a appetizer, first course, main course, and dessert. Antoine and his protege, I guess, were very very overconfident. They rushed and they went for both the appetizer and the first course, which was a bit careless. Granted, it saved a lot of time, but they were playing a bit of a safe bet as opposed to us, because the whole thing's about going above and beyond, which is
Yeah.
something I think they kind of lacked. They were making some signature recipes. We were making some new ones on the fly. But excuse me. Overall, I think it turned out really well. We started making some appetizers. The judges felt very prideful when they saw them. They thought it was a very nice touch as well. One thing I forgot to mention as well. Before the actual event, during the Nillet show, we actually went out to dinner with Yvette as well, which was a nice little intimate night before that to, let's just say, boost the morale. So then we actually, but even Yvette as well, before the actual show started, she was like, she wasn't even as competitive. She was just like, we're just here to make food, not much, just make food that everyone enjoys, what we enjoy, etc. Do what we like. She was very calm about the whole thing as well. So yeah, we made the appetizer, which was the names are so long. I think it was the air appetizer was rye pan con tomate, which was like a kind of cheese and tomato bread, I guess you could say, with a bit of sauce on it. It was like it looked really nice actually, like something I'd love to try, I guess you could say like a pizza, but bread instead. But still, it was nice. Then things started to kind of panic a bit. They're a course behind. Yvette wanted to make a signature dish, but then you had the diamond option to make a new signature dish to try and boost forward. Because one thing about the whole competition was going above and beyond. They wanted to make something called I can't remember what it's called, the gomesh salde, something like that. It was like yeah, I can't actually explain it. It was like oh no, sorry, that was the safe dish. They actually made the heirloom bean salad, which looks very interesting. Vast array of herbs and salad dressings, etc. And it's something really very interesting, but also very chic, very kind of basic. The judges were over the moon about that. They absolutely loved it. Then they moved on to the next course, which was dessert. But to a shocking surprise, how desperate Antoine and his protege were, they sabotaged the dessert. So we had to change up tactics, which in fact did us a whole huge favour. That's how overconfident and careless they were. They had to try and sabotage us just to try and win. That's pretty pathetic, if I have to say. So, but of course, the desperation does a lot of things to somebody. And let's just say we had a bit of plan coming through. We kind of went back for a bit of a topped up classic. They did I think it was supposed to be like a chocolate lava cake, but like with a lot of what was it? Kind of like little sauces. Yes, that was it, I think, unless it was changed by mistake. Oh wait, no, this wasn't the dessert. This was the second course. Right, I forgot about that. That was an idiot. And it was, what was it? Well, the chocolate lava cake was dessert, but the second course, it was supposed to be something creative that you could enjoy, but it wouldn't actually spoil the meal turning into dessert. It was kind of weird. The whole cooking aspect kind of confuses me sometimes, but it really is interesting. Yeah, it's savory ice cream flavored with fresh Italian herbs, black pepper, and garnished with a laced almond cookie. So it sounds like a dessert, but they called it a palate cleaner. It was really interesting, and it definitely caught the judges. And then Yvette pulls you into a freezer where she tells you to decide the last course, which is the interesting small chocolate lava cake. It was an interesting dish, raspberries, chocolate. I actually was the design? You know, it had interesting taste. You know, melt butter chocolate until it's smooth. Fold it into egg mixture. You know, that's just describing it. You know, with vanilla ice cream. So it definitely, it's not just your standard lava cake. It's got its tweaks to make it that more unique and definitely more interesting. But of course, that was just actually no, that was the design. My mistake. I keep honest to God, this book is back and forth with all sorts of foods. I'm losing track. So that was the idea they had for another restaurant, but the actual one they went with, they actually kind of changed that lava cake. They kind of altered it. Instead, they went for a pear, chocolate, and goat cheese tart, which may not sound it may not sound all that great, but it is actually I bet it's quite nice actually. You know, it's supposed to have a unique tone to it, very interesting. You know, it has its bit of cinnamon in it. You know, it's honey paste mixture. It's described very nicely. You know, the goat cheese is supposed to be like just a bit of a hidden treasure. But it definitely is interesting. It was original as well. And then we go off stage. Judges making their minds up. You're constantly wondering, have we done enough? Have we gone above and beyond, etc. What's going on? And the pressure might be getting to you a bit. It's like, yeesh. But then we go back to the judges. They describe Antoine and Mark first, and it was a funny revelation. I will say I enjoyed it so much. They were like, you did a good job. It's very nice. You're experienced at what you do, but you're missing something. They were nice, but we could find these recipes today, and they relied on too much ingredients on what thought played into the dish. They basically played it really safe. They didn't take any risks or go out of their way, as opposed to us. They even said we went above and beyond, from presentation to flavors, and one of them even said there was an authentic free spirit about it, which was a nice touch. And then that's when they just said, congratulations, you are the title greatest chefs, of creme de la creme, and you won the $25,000 reward money.
Wow.
And let's just say Antoine was less than a little salty. Mark was even salty as well. He just walked off. He was a bit of a thingy, and we even told Yvette to get it all out because this is buried in the past. She let Antoine have it, and then she offered him a truce. Chef's truce. She admitted that they kind of needed each other. If they didn't push out themselves at competition, they probably wouldn't have been better. And she offers a truce. She offers to be a better person, the middle ground, and of course, he's all salty. And he's like, you'll never be better than me, even though they literally just proved it. And they both just storm off. In fact, no, Mark storms off. His fiance, her ex-fiance, comes on stage and rushes him to get him off stage. And then even you give him a piece of your mind. And, oh God, the satisfaction was just so much and just so enjoyable. And that's when you get to go for the last final after party. Well, one of the final after parties of France. It was. They described it as one of a lifetime kind of party. It was so much. The ballroom just had that much like a sense of pride in it. You were able to get around with everyone, and you even find out that Vivian and Hudson, these two who have been liking each other, are finally getting together. They're finally together now. Dating, finally together. They actually enjoy each other's company so much. And of course, you still got to spend some time with a special lady or man. You still have your two choices, which in this chapter determines who you'll be with. Kind of, yeah, it determines who you'll be with, even though you've said it. And then you even go over to Zara as well, and you're like, so we won. Am I getting this job back? And then he tries to convince her that to try and convince her to be a bit of a better person, and even she admits he's done well, etc. And they get back onto a neutral ground, start a fresh, clean slate. But do some business at a pie because that's who she is. Honest to God, the woman doesn't know the idea of fun, and that's when you get to choose. I'd say you get to. You could choose two still because there's another option, but you could. But this one is kind of the main moment. You choose your ally, so Yvette or Julia. I've seen both. But I guess I'll talk about the Yvette one because I guess that seems a bit more what the story's about. You go onto a beautiful balcony that actually does remind me about the movie that I told about, Ratatouille. It just the scenery of the Eiffel Tower and the sunset on a beautiful primrose balcony. It's just a beautiful view. Yeah, and that's when you get the last chance at the 30 diamond intimate scene with Yvette or Julia, which is a kind bit of a warm-hearted scene. It's really nice. The you both get to have some fun and surprisingly in private whilst rather
Yeah.
public. And then a few weeks later, back in Los Angeles, you're in the office for the TV like the Food Flicks, the
Hmm.
company that you're actually providing to. You and Yvette are going through some files, and that's when he says the opposite of what Zara's been saying. You've both done absolutely amazing. Ratings are high. The executives absolutely love it. It's very good news, and they loved about the main character's sentiment as well. They got to it. There was even an article about it, and it even got nominated for 2 Emery Awards, two outstanding reality and outstanding culinary, and it even headlined Yvette, Julia, and the rising star main character, which was absolutely amazing.
Mm.
Um, they loved the main characters, like really, like how they approached things. They loved their reputation, which was kind and supportive. They loved it. Not Zara's vision for drama and just everything else. And that's when they tell you they're, how much the audience loved it, and they're renewing it for a second season, which means there is a possibility of a book two. I would personally love to see a book two that goes into a second season around the world to different locations. Now that you're in your relationship, taking it a bit further, I would love to see a book two of this. I mean, it hasn't been announced in the Choices Insider because there's already so many books coming out, but that's something we could look forward to next year, which is I would love to think about. And then you actually have the choice of considering to keep Zara on as that's it, the showrunner. You keep her on as a showrunner, or you can opt them to find somebody else. Currently, we went with keeping her because, despite differences, have respect. She puts the show first, and you do need somebody to focus on the show while she'll focus on everything else. So it kind of made sense, and even the exec was kind of happy because he didn't have to make an awkward phone call. And that's when you and Yvette take a little trip up to the Hollywood sign, talking about your future, how things wouldn't happen between you two, talking about where you want to go next, and, bit of the getting together. And that's when you get your last recipe for the book, the pear, chocolate, and goat cheese tart. And that's when it's telling you you've created all 10 cookbook recipes, and you also unlock a special scene, which I'm not sure what it was. Then, months later, one thing as well, Julia told you that, because back at the wrap party, she got offered by a guy who had an anniversary and he enjoyed it. About her restaurant that she had, and he offered to open up a new restaurant, and she's gone through with it. She's opened she's opened her restaurant again. So, and that's where you've gone to with everyone else. You've gone to the Yvette, you've published your cookbook, and Julia and Yvette invited you to her restaurant, which is called Nuestra Cocina. I can't remember what Nuestra stands for, but something kitchen. My Spanish is a little shaky. You enjoy time with Yvette. She asked you to sign your book. You even get to call the book, like you even get to name your book. The default name itself was called Flavors, though, which was it was interesting. But I was trying to think of some book names actually. And you even write a little fan message for Yvette who wants to sign a book. And then once you get through, this I think was a bonus scene, but it was still beautiful. You get surprised by Julia and all of the couples that you've helped over the course of the show. Because, in every episode you go to a different country, you meet a couple or someone, and you turn their restaurant around. All the owners and all the couples came to this party, to celebrate with you. You see all those faces, all the different couples from New Orleans, Santorini, Marrakesh, Vietnam, Tokyo, all over, just bringing all of them together to, celebrate. And it definitely was a heartwarming moment. I think one of the best moments in the whole book. You got to talk with each of the, catch up with all the characters, having some fun. You get to see, you get to talk to everybody. You talk to Julia, Yvette, and all the different other people. And it even turns out that most of the restaurants have even started cooking, your like recipes and stuff, and it's really enjoyable. And even Vivian and Hudson, they pull you aside. Vivian started trying to blow you up on social media, making you a hashtag, posting dishes, and it even shows that people are cooking your dishes as well from your cookbook and posting them, and they're really enjoying them. Because one thing about the main character as well is the way he described it, his instructions were to the letter. He made his instructions perfectly clear, easy to understand, and it was so simple to make them. Basically, it was almost like no effort. And they also talk about the opportunities that Vivian's been given to describe about new interior designs, and that's when you get pulled in for a final photo with everyone together. You know, grabbing one of your get to choose a dish for a photo, and you bring everybody in. Everyone from the restaurants. They didn't
Mhm.
show. I think it would have been nice if they managed to find some artwork with everybody of the
Yeah.
photos. I think that would have been nice, but still, it's a nice image in your head. Everyone together. Then everyone just goes back to enjoy the party, and you get to steal a final moment with either Yvette or Julia. Julia, obviously, you go with Yvette. You talk about how much you enjoy each other's company. About each other, how much you love each other. Well, I say love each other. How much you've needed each other. You show how much you kind of care for each other, about the future, and then and it finishes off with looking over at everyone and just seeing smiles all over, and then it just kind of that's where it ends off. We end off on a very very heartwarming note
Mhm.
for Slow Burn, and personally, this book has been absolutely amazing. I'm not sure about other people's opinions, but I love this book. Just the detail that went into it, and the detail and all the heartwarming to it was really amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, well, let's hope that there's a book too, because for VIP books, I don't think they have made a spin-off to any VIP books yet. All the Queen Bee that was supposed to be a VIP book, they released it as a non-VIP book, and then they made the sequel. But with VIP books, they haven't done that. So, but you are right. Like the Slow Burn, it's a perfect book. You have proper everything. Like the setup is perfect, gender customizable love interest, gender customizable main characters, and nice plot of a competition. And like you said, this kind of cooking shows, it can have season two, more ups and downs. Old rivals, new rivals, just like in America's Most Eligible. So they can go for that. I would love to see what they do with this. But irrespective of that, you're right. Like whether it gets a book two or not, it's definitely in and of itself, it's a great book.
Yeah, I absolutely love this book. I'll be honest, I wasn't even skeptical when I first saw the trailer for the book. I was like, a cooking book, one about a cooking, something about food and describes, and looking at with we had the allies on the front, just a description. It was just, and I was like, this book, I have high hopes for it, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm happy to say those high hopes have stuck. Going through this whole book, I've absolutely loved it. Um, I remember I was reading the first few episodes. I was like, it's quite a good start. I didn't expect the main character to start off quite as low as they did. They started in the diner and they worked their way at the top. I didn't expect to start there, but it was a nice touch. You got to know everybody. You got to get through to Yvette, who's gone through a lot. She's been betrayed. She's been cheated on. She's been a very bit of a I don't want to say rude or miserable. I'll say puckish rogue. Um, she closed herself out. She kept herself to herself. She didn't open her heart to anybody. She just took things a bit too head on, a bit too aggressive. And then by main character coming along, they changed that. They changed her into a whole better person. They turned the show into something amazing, and they made an amazing team with everybody they made with. And yeah, this book has been absolutely amazing. I think it will be even more amazing if and when Choices decide to make it a standalone book without VIP. Because I love this book. I can guarantee a lot of people I think I've loved this book, and I think releasing it to everybody else will get even more. We'll just get even more support for it. It was an absolutely amazing book.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, I hope, like, yeah. Oh, a good thing is that when first this VIP feature came out last year, people didn't know when they're going to be releasing it for non-VIP players, or whether they're going to do it or not, because there were lots of things there. But then they started releasing it one by one. Then we know the pattern, what they're going to follow, because the next they're going to release the Unexpected Heiress. So following that pattern, hopefully they're going to follow that pattern. So maybe next year around, or maybe the year after that, because there's still a lot of VIP books before it. 'Cause for instance, I think Wolf Bride, Perfect Match, it's Mismatch, and then I think this book. so it's gonna have to wait.
Yeah, and on the note of VIP books, I'm not actually sure where I heard this. I'm not sure if it's accurate, so don't quote me. But I think it's possible that the new book Shipwrecked coming out in August, I think it's August, is going to be a VIP book. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. They confirmed it in
Yeah,
this month's
yeah.
blog post. They confirmed it that it's a VIP book, and I have a hunch, and one of the one of my viewers also told me that there was another book called kind of forgetting the name, but they haven't told us anything about it. But they say that this could be a VIP book too, and they say this could be releasing later this year. So maybe Shipwrecked will end like Slow Burn, and then this book will come into play. I'm forgetting the name of the book, by the way.
Was it Veil of Secrets? Not Veil of Secrets, sorry. Wake the Dead.
No. That's a zombie book. No,
No, that's not one.
they just told us about this book, just the name for the first time in this month's Insider. I'm kind of forgetting the name.
Let
I'll
me
tell you later.
let me just pull up the insider actually. If I can find
Yeah.
it buried in all my 50,000 emails. Here it is. Lots of Attraction coming back soon as well. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Thank God. Hiatus didn't last long. Crimes of Passion. Was that it?
No. Crimes of Passion is like
That's it. Surrender.
Surrender. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Because of course the term surrender is
Yeah.
obviously giving up, and it's
Yeah.
like I'm curious how this book's going to take out because is it going to be a book about giving up or is it going to be a book about not giving up? It's really interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
and all they've said is we've got a new book, Surrender, in the works, and that's literally it. They've left it very.
Yeah, they don't say anything about it. So we will have to wait 2 or 3 more months. So they would be talking about it, maybe more like in this insiders. They would be giving us a little more details. But yeah, I have just a hunch because they haven't done anything in terms of military books or in that line. So it could be like that. Who is running from something, and because they're framed for something, because the name surrender seems closer to that. In
Yeah.
those professions.
Yeah, it's like I said, the fact that it's just the name Surrender as well. It offers a lot of opportunities. It's a really interesting name. Looking at the releases though, it says later this year, so I'm betting it will most likely come out between October and December. I'm thinking maybe November because there's no actual books. I don't think. No, there's no books scheduled for November, so that seems like a free month. Or it may match with Wake of the Dead in October or Passion in December. So I'm thinking it's gonna be around October, December that this book gets
Yeah.
released.
Yeah, and I also think like the guy told me that it's going to be VIP, and I think that there's a fair possibility that this could be a VIP book because for non-VIP, there are too much books coming out. Queen Bee, The Royal Heir, Wake the Dead, Crimes of Passion, and I think after Shipwreck ends, I think this would take its place. Probably,
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, I think that makes sense. You've got August, and it takes let's see,
Mm.
roughly 16 chapters. You get a chapter a week,
Four,
for
4 months.
about 4 months. Yeah, so I'd say maybe around. I'm trying to do
Uh,
math now, and I hate it. January, February, March, April,
December.
May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, so about December. That makes about sense. December. So that could probably come out December. But I definitely be getting keeping VIP up there. And honest to God, that book sounds so interesting. And they
Yeah.
also showed some artwork for Wake of the Dead, which looks
Yep.
absolutely amazing. Honest to God,
Mm.
this looks like something out of a military book. Because it looks like a prison in a way. I think it looks like a prison. This it's
I felt like it was like is that a seawater there? I mean, the thing or like a dam or something in front, like
it's like
no,
yeah, it's like what's ways I've seen it. It's like a dam. It looks
yeah,
like a dam in a way, but it's
yeah,
like a prison. It looks like a prison because you've got the guard towers, barbed wire. It looks like a prison or like a heavily defended outpost. And the
hmm
fact that it's a zombie book, it would make sense. Maybe it's a top secret science place. That's also the possibility, because this is zombies, so this could be interesting. So I'm really excited for Wake of the Dead and Surrender. Also a bit of Shipwrecked, which I'm going to be
yeah,
reading as well. Actually, with that coming out soon, I think given. Ooh, see, I want to read the old books, but I'm really liking the new books. I think I might do the new books on stream. I'm sure I think
yeah.
so.
That would be a great idea because the new book, and specifically if you do it, there it is. Look, it's my personal opinion, okay, that the old books, most people have already read it, and if you do with the new books, and specifically if you do with the VIP books, the thing is that it would be really easy for a lot of people to catch up with the books too. And personally for me, when you have just to on YouTube playthroughs, there are those books, but sometimes you just need to timing is too fast. It's just that doesn't resonate well. But if you are doing with a voice there, it's just super awesome. So I think it would be super good because I
Mm,
don't think there is any voice VIP book playthrough anywhere. So that would be super awesome if you go with Shipwrecked.
yeah. But the only thing we'd be debating is how to do it. So would I do it about like I could? Cause usually they come out Thursdays, Fridays. So I could do it like the following week. Like I could not read it or. I have to say, I think I'll do it basically when the chapter comes out. I'll do the stream, when the book releases, and just go by chapter and discussing it with chat, etc., and then do recaps. Yeah, that'll be interesting actually.
Mm.
Ooh,
Mm.
it,
Yeah,
it
that,
would, because I also plan to release the streams onto YouTube once I get that
oh,
up and running, as well. So like currently, I've got my very scanners proposal. I've got multiple chapters together. This would actually kind of allow me to do the full thing episode by episode by episode. It's like it's commonly seen. So that's one way I could look at it. But I'm really excited to yeah, I would. Oh, what's that? Uh, I would love. I'm losing off my own thoughts. I would love to read these books, like because we've got the Shipwrecked in August. We've also got the Unexpected Heiress, which you just like recommended me to read as
yeah.
well, didn't you? So yeah, as well, because like I could read two. Because the way I do it, I do Saturday and Tuesdays. I usually do a good few chapters, but with the new books, I could do one thing. I could then have a short break, so I could cut the video in half and then go on to another book. So I could probably do two live books a week or something, and that would be. I think that'd be interesting. Because
Yeah,
the way
that.
because I think that would actually be a better format. Because I usually do because with the Saturdays and Tuesdays, the Saturdays could be for the new books released in the week, and then the Tuesdays could go back to another book I'm reading.
Old
So I
books.
could do multiple books, old books. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea because if you do on Saturdays, choices they have the last release on the Fridays, so they don't release anything after that. So that would be at the end of the
Mm,
weekend. You were just recapping everything that happened in like all the books that were released in that particular week. So that would be super awesome.
definitely, I'd love to do that as well. And so like I could, because one thing I say is as well. I the way I've done a very scans proposal, it's been rather fast, and as well as much as I do like reading multiple chapters, going through planning. I feel like it was a bit too fast because I've only done I think about
Yeah.
3 streams, and we've almost already finished it. And I've tried to like lengthen the episodes perfectly, but excuse me. I think I think that'd probably benefit more from a
Yeah.
long term book reading, depending on how long the book is. But definitely. So I think I'll probably read The Unexpected Heiress then, and then just prepare for the next 2 books coming out. But I also want to go through Slow Burn on stream as well because that is a really good book as well. Go through some of the classics,
Yeah.
and then of course there's a one book that everyone's excited about coming out this month, which is the Royal Romance finale or the Royal Finale. That's coming out as well this month.
Yeah, they're on April
Yeah,
4th.
that's going to be interesting. I haven't actually kept up with the Royal Romance series. It's absolutely huge, um, and I'm excited. It's going to be. I've seen a lot of clips about it. I've definitely got to read through the series. It's going to take me a long time. I even saw a friend of mine on Twitter, Amber. She's been doing a full playthrough of like a bunch of the series, the Royal Romance, the Crown and the Flame, basically the entire Cordonia themed era. And honest to God, all she was doing was flexing her diamonds. She has about 6,000 plus diamonds. Honest to God, she's just honest to God. She's a dedicated Choices fan. I'll say that, and she's a really nice person. She's agreed to catch me if I faint too much from Sam and other people, and I've done the same. So that's a little agreement we've got. But yeah, she's a really good person, really nice person, and yeah, I'm really excited But overall, this just I'm really excited for these books coming out. I want to read all of them. You know, we've got Surrender, which is the brand new one, which I'm, to be honest, the most excited for. Shipwrecked, Unexpected Heiress. I need to catch up on Queen Bee 1, and then Wake the Dead, and then Crimes of
Wake the Dead.
Passion.
Yeah, Wake the Dead.
Wake of the Dead
Yeah,
sounds like that movie from we've got in England, Shaun of the Dead, which is more comedic than actual zombie, but you get the idea.
yeah. I mean, exciting books are coming out, and yeah, definitely. I mean, if you put the streams on YouTube, that'd be, I think, really great because Twitch is kind of it's just yeah, I think YouTube is just really easier, well, easily accessible. Let's just say anyone can access it, so it's really super easily accessible. So it'll be super awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I plan to. Because one thing as well, I have been packing a lot of stream VODs from my channel onto my computer, and it is starting to take up space. Thankfully, I managed to get my an external drive formatted, so now I've got plenty of space. But that's got me thinking, to get everything on YouTube, so then I can move them to somewhere or zip them up, put them somewhere where they're not taking up so much space, and also get them up because I've got my playing and casting VODs. And then I've got my choices VODs, which are going to be going up first. But Very Scans Proposal will be going up first. That much I can say. Really excited for that.
Yeah, that was super awesome. A very scandalous proposal. And then we have like Shipwrecked. I'm excited for that. I'm more excited because of of course the book is going to be exciting given its like genre and its special type. But like you said, you're going to be reading the chapters each week. Like that is super exciting. I guess more exciting. I'm down for that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just so much fun. Like I'll admit, I knew I was gonna have fun doing this. I just didn't anticipate how much fun because I've said this on stream as well. The game I play, Rainbow Six, it's going through a thing right now where no one's finding it actually fun at the moment. It's in a very bad state, very toxic state, and literally a bunch of people have just been saying they're enjoying doing whatever they're doing and they enjoy playing anything else, and I'm the same. I don't like to say it because I've been with this game, but I'm saying it. I'm having so much fun doing choices and doing a bunch of other games on PC. It's kind of heartening, but I'm hoping it bounces back. But Choices has been by far the best one I've done. It's the one stream. It's the one thing I have on my set schedule. Tuesdays and Saturdays. Obviously, the times can still be altered and days, but that's my set so far. And as long as it's 2 Choices streams a week, I think we're all happy.
Yep, definitely. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait for tomorrow for a next stream. By the way, a very scandalous proposal. The story is heading in a nice direction so far.
Yeah, we're up. I'm up to chapter 13, which is where were we up to last time we spoke about it? I think we
I
were all
think
the way back. I
chapter
think, yeah. I remember I saw Choices released. I was like, it released onto Apartment Hunting, but I can't remember which chapter it is. I think it's like chapter 7 or something. I'm like, oh god, I've already blasted past it. So now I've gone all the way up to chapter 13. So yeah, a lot's happened. We got to know Simon more. We got more involved with his family. We've dealt with Hugo. Been to the galas. Got to know Simon more, or Ava, because I've gone through Simon just to kind of match the accent, so I don't have to try and do a female accent most of the time, which is honestly God worse. I think the worst part was the last chapter. Simon tried to do a Cockney accent, which I refused to do because I just cannot do a Cockney accent.
Yeah.
But I was able to nail his when he did an American accent imitation. That was easy. Somehow I just knew. And then there was a lot of debates about certain things. For instance, the English fry up. I remember I was talking with Kat and Eric about it in the chat. About black pudding on a fry up, and we were just like a nope, absolute no. Because if you don't know what black pudding is, it's basically like it's like pork. I think what was it? Pork, some mixed in foods with like pig's blood or something. It's supposed to be really nice, but not for me and not for anyone else. It was a hard pass. And we even had it's been a fun set of streams though. We even had the first one was an absolute blast off. We had V from Play Choices podcast. We even had the Pixelberry Studio social team. We met a bunch of new people, a bunch of interesting people. I actually named the dog we adopted, the Whippet, V from as well after her because it just gave me so much vibes and positivity about her. So decided to keep it matched, keep V in the story. Uh,
Yeah.
and then we also, I remember I left to go get a drink because I desperately needed a drink from reading. I come back and I see V. She's like, I'm saying, we're in England here. We need to be drinking tea, not coffee. I leave, and what do I come back seeing? V saying, "Shh, get the coffee." I'm like, V, stop going against me. If you're gonna be in England, drink the tea. Plus, at this point, I've just been putting off the option to ever drink coffee in the story now, just because
Yeah.
I just want to stick to tea. But it's been so much fun. We've
Mm,
and then we had of course, with the gala bombshell, which I left on a cliffhanger just to be cheeky. We came back, we worked our way back up, got the evidence, and then we left off in Tommy's room where we find out that we think it's Tommy who's been doing all this, which makes sense because I was like, we put it together. Tommy would know all the information that was released. He's been with Simon the longest. He has access to the secret passage we've just gone through, and that's where we've left off. So we've got the last 3 chapters tomorrow, the finale. It's
okay.
gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And also the side mystery. Forgot. From 1908.
Yeah,
The Duchess and the Duke, who I think he had a baby outside the Montreal family.
yeah. I've made sure to collect all those letters. We've been reading that as well. That is such a nice story. Like I love that little side story. Absolutely beautiful. I think we only have one more letter left. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we only have
probably
one more letter left. Yeah, we're going through all the letters.
one or two.
Yeah, I've kind of gone through all the diamond scenes on this just to be a bit cheeky, trying to so I can get the full length of the story, basically. Uh,
Mhm.
which is what I like to do. I have my methods, so diamonds will never be an issue. I make sure I have enough for the full set of episodes, so that's not too bad. Uh,
Yeah. So
and
it
then
costs
I'm just
less than yeah. It costs less diamonds than Dream Zone. Been playing it. Wow. I mean, Dream Zone costs diamonds every 5 seconds. I mean,
oh
gems.
yeah, yep. I've been reading a bit of Dream Zone as well. That's been going pretty well actually.
Yeah, by the way, Devil's Game. I think it's called. The book two
Devil's
is
Deal.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Devil's Deal. I was super excited to see that book as well. I
Yeah,
was super
it's out.
excited. Yeah, I've read
The
the
book,
first 4 chapters. I
yeah.
was super excited when it came back. I was so eager to see where it left off, and it's been
Yeah.
really interesting. And honest to God, it left off on a really annoying, a bit of a dark cliffhanger, not a cliffhanger, but a dark moment. And I'm really annoyed. Actually, I think we're on. Oh no, we're on Monday now, aren't we? I was trying to think. Oh, maybe the next episode's out. Maybe I've passed it because it's been past Thursday, and it's like no, because it comes out Thursdays, Fridays.
Yeah.
No, Wednesdays, not Thursday. Yeah, I also finished reading Hostel Story 2. I'm not sure how to feel of that ending though, because it kind of puts us back on the same path, which I'm hoping. I'm saying there better be a book. There better be a book 3 that ends it off properly because it deserves a proper ending. I like how they continue these books, but still they should offer some proper endings after at least the third book.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Devil's Deal. I liked. I felt like after time and time again, and Half Human. This Devil's Deal book is one of the best books in Dream Zone, and specifically the villain Milton. His characters, I like that. I mean, he's an evil character, but he just is not just any evil character. He brings a different touch to the table. Like it's really nice to have him as the evil character, because the mind games he plays, it's just not it's really playfully, he like the poetic way he just puts everything and always creates troubles. It's always fun to beat him or to be fighting against him. So I'm really excited that Milton is still gonna continue as the main villain.
Yeah, I think Milton is so far one of the best villains I've seen in this entire app and stories, because just the way he is, it's just he's very deadly, not in the sense of lethality as much, more in the sense of mentally. in a way, if you get what I mean. Because as you go into the story, he offers you deals, but it's the detail that counts. Once you offer him a deal or once you tell him a deal, you have to be very smart about it because it's the
Mhm.
way it's said. So, say for instance, he said, so like I don't know if you've actually have you read the end of the first book
Yeah,
or
I'm currently
okay.
in chapter 4 of book 2.
Okay, good. So, at the end, they tell them the
Yeah.
final deal. Under no circumstances can you, because they have to be smart about it, are you to harm any human here ever again? And, but one thing about making these deals is there's always a gap he will try
Yeah.
and cross, and there's always a gap you've got to try and find. It's the one thing I love about the book, but also kind of hate because I can't find it myself. You've got to be. I can guarantee if someone super smart read this, honest to God, they could probably change an entire future about it. But it's just the mind games and just the detail and just honest to God, he's such an amazing villain. Even though I hate him at the same time, it's just so deep on how deep his like just his strategies are and how because once he makes these deals, he makes them hardcore. Like one thing as well is in the first book when he wants you to break up with Thingy, Carrie.
Yeah.
I can't. I He even said at one point you could have just said a fake breakup in the end point. Like that's
Yeah.
the kind of thing I'm talking about. He's very. It's you can't overthink it, but you kind of have to at the same time. It's like because like that's what they did. They were overthinking it because he desperately cared, but because he does it to people he cares about, that causes the overthinking too much. You don't want to overthink too much because, like I said, he could have just done it in a public area as a joke, and that would have been fine. So you've got to be really smart when going against him. Honest to God, he is a very lethal villain in his own way,
Yeah.
and it's just really interesting. I'm really interested to see how the second book plays out. It's building up really well so far.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when he said that he's not going to harm any human being anymore, passively or actively. So at that point, I knew that he's going to be back again because he's going to find a loophole. He's going to find something. But then when the revelation hit us that we are half human, half devil, and our mom is devil. So well, he can literally hurt our mom and our main character too in that way. So that by that time I knew that this is going to have a book too, and it did. And ironically, I finished book two book one last Monday, and by Saturday there was book two. So I was really happy that I didn't need to wait longer for this book because I'm really excited, like you said, what Milton does after this. And how main character breaks the chains. It's gonna be fun, and I think Diana is injured at that point, so I would like to
Hmm.
see how that plays out and how Felix is going to react on the aftermath. I think Felicia is dead, so it's gonna be fun. And Carrie, so far, I thought maybe there's this point like Carrie is a cop, and what happened in the book one. I thought maybe
Yeah.
there'd be more like slow burn or like more distance between them. But Carrie just came in MC's room, so and they have an intimate scene there, have an intimate scene. So that kind of, I think they could have hold that back if they would have held it back a little bit longer. It would have been like really interesting. The desperation for MC to have Carrie, it would have been super awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. This book has changed a lot of relationships, in my opinion. Like Felix, who was an absolute clown, an absolute oh god, I shouldn't even say it, but he's changed. That he's not. And what's weird is I was really surprised to see that he wasn't with Carrie, and it's beginning to be think like
Yeah.
what else is Milton lie about? Because he said those two were going to be they were going to have a baby who was going to cure cancer, but they're not even together, and it's like I'm thinking, okay, so that was clearly Milton's mind games playing, and just to mess about. It obviously wasn't real. And, she's with the dancer we met
Yeah.
in the club
Betty or
that
something.
Milton's Betty that we've met, and it's interesting to see that. It's really interesting actually. And then we've had Felix who wants to. We've had Felix who has turned out to be such a bad guy. He was a bit of a douche, but if we've kind of come to better terms, I think it's because he's kind of gotten involved in what we're involved with now. It's easier to kind of relate and be at him. Felicia wasn't actually killed. I don't think she was injured even. She injured Diana. I think she may have been injured a bit, Felicia, but not as much because she's got some tough exterior on that owl Stintini thing, whatever it is. Uh, so and but the one thing that's been annoying me is the fact that Carrie became a cop and she's kind of trying to abuse her power to get back at us, and it's like
Yeah,
it's like, what is your problem, And the fact that she's always there when we're in the middle of a quote crime scene is just,
yeah,
honest to God, how what is your problem? I like you. I saw you as the love of my life. I hurt you to protect you, and now you're trying to make me pay for it. What
yeah,
did I do to deserve this? And then the intimate one, I'm like, how did this happen? It's like she spent so much time hating us, and now she's confessing how much she cares. Make your mind up. I mean, quite frankly, I want things to be patched up. I want us to be with Carrie because, quite frankly, I think that's the main ally, and I think she's an amazing person. But this whole and then the fact that Diana told us to leave her because of the amount of crime scenes we've been stacked at was so
yeah,
annoying. Like, if Diana dies, I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm gonna be really mad if Diana dies.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I just hope Carrie kind of comes around, stops being so like this. Maybe she finds out what's really going on and she cuts us a break. And I just hope things work out with her as the ally. And this book is really amazing. That's all I can say. And it's definitely invited me more than Hostel Story 2. That book I had hopes for it, but it's kind of got a bit. I'm hoping book 3 can pick it back up. Didn't have the ending I actually expected, but Devil's Book, so good.
Yep. The thing is that, yeah, you're right. With Carrie, I also, but I think she would stop, like you said, irritating us or bothering us because of what happened. Right? She thought like we really dumped her or we really cheated on her in the book one. So I think she will come around after this, but we would have to see because we literally had a really intimate moment with her, and she confessed like she's been thinking about our main character for all this time when she was even with Betty. So this is going to be interesting. And you're right. I mean, this is a whole thing. I think that the owl it killed a lot of people, including Kyle, who we helped in the book
Yeah, that
one.
was unnerving as well. And the fact that she had the audacity to accuse us. Honest to God.
And even
Just
she wouldn't believe. I mean, she saw the owl in front of her eyes, and she'd be saying, "Well, wait a second. She's not ready to believe that this is some magic or this is a big owl." She's like, "No, you're lying." But you saw it, but with your own eyes, in front of your eyes, you fired at it. It didn't die. It didn't budge. So that was kind of, there was a little hole, I guess.
yeah, it's like yeah. Saying you don't believe the supernatural, and how do you explain the fact that there's a bunch of supernatural stuff going on? How else do you explain the multiple deaths and the multiple problems poking up? This isn't normal. This isn't just a coincidence. It's unnatural for this much to be happening. And what kind of serial killer can just cleanly rip out somebody's heart?
Hmm.
Eh? It's like, put the pieces together. Come on. I know I'm a half demon, but just come on, put it together. Honest to God, may as well call the main character the good Lucifer at this point.
Yeah,
Actually, that
exactly.
reminds me of that kind of reminds me of Half Human. Actually, when you've got the love potion, it's kind of like reminds me of Lucifer going, "What do you desire?" And it's just a lust that he gives for women. It's just that's what Half Human kind of reminds me of as well as Devil's Book. But it's just so much.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, the Dream Zone. It's I started playing with the Hostel Story, and I felt like Hostel Story. It did have a nice plot, but it kind of went back and forth. Killed Ivy or not, we don't know yet, and it felt
She's
like
still alive as far
more.
as I know.
Uh huh.
She's still alive as far as I know. I hope she's alive. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
whereabouts are you up to on this Hostel Story? Just out of
Huh?
curiosity. Whereabouts are you up to on Hostel Story? Book 2, book 1? So I don't want to ruin anything, that's all.
Oh, I completed book two.
Okay. Oh, so you're fully up to it. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, the way book 2 left off, I was kind of annoyed. It's like we're just back to where we were. The fact that
yeah.
the Silk Way, it's like it's like, is this going to end? It's like, yeah, the Silk Way is going big, and it's like it just it ends to the same question: is this going to end? We're on our own now. Everyone thinks we're a traitor, and we've got to. Yeah, that's basically it. We left off. We didn't even find Bella or Ivy. We found
Exactly.
everyone else.
Exactly.
So there better be a book three. That's all I'm saying. We better find Ivy. We better find Bella. We better get a name cleared. Still quick put down. Move on, etc. And
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying is it's just the way it was left off though. It's like we're on the roof. We get called to roof from the fake text, and it's like we're instantly accused of assassinating the Secret Service head because of the video that was taken when we assassinated one of the Silkway financial advisors, which Carter said was involved with, but also quite crippling to them. So that was a good blow. And then I liked Katia as well. Getting close to Katia, she was a really nice, like she was a really nice character. It's like I was skeptical. I mean, even in this type of environment, in a type of military environment. I don't mean this as like overall. I mean this in stories. Russians, I I got trust issues with Russians in games and movies. I'll be honest. Just just
Yeah.
just just based off it, it's they can be deceptive, and most of all, they have their mindset on one thing, and they don't
Second
believe in
point.
ally. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very self centered. But Katia is different. I mean, granted, she left us a bunch of times, and she tried
Mhm.
to fight us at one point. But still, I really like her. She's a really great character. She's an absolute amazing fighter. And she even gave us last minute's contact her, and that's where we left off. We're off to Moscow to meet her, and we've got an ally in her. So like that's all we've got. It's literally MC character against everybody. We're being hunted down by the Silkway. We're being hunted down by the Secret Service and CIA again. What's new? I mean, I honest to God, I'm really interested to see how this book goes. It's not the end that I wanted, but it's very interesting. I thought the scenario over my head. It's like, are you to do? You're being hunted down by one of the most secret and lethal underground criminal organizations in the world, as well
Mhm.
as the top organization of the U.S. government. How are you able to fight that and escape that? And how are you
Mhm.
able to, clear your name? And the video they used was very flawless, apparently, which was interesting. But again, I'm just interested to see how this plays out. I want a book three, and I want the ending. I'm also
Mhm.
waiting for the Impossible Game book three because
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you catch up on that series. That is an amazing series, but it's very I don't want to say back and forth. Actually, it's kind of back and forth, very puzzly, but it's also very like It Lives Beneath. Once you think you've got something, in your head, it kind of cuts off. It's really interesting. The way book two left off was so, oof, it was big. Oh, I'm really excited. And then what else have we got? Man for Hire. That's an interesting story as well. If you want to read that, there should be a book two coming soon. The way that left off was really the book itself was really deep and
Oh yeah,
amazing.
reading in Man for
Uh,
Hire. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I say you read that?
Yeah, I'm 5 or 6 chapters in. I think we're in Samantha's apartment, and we just killed the Latino drug dealer. What was his name? Forgot. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
I can't remember him. Yeah, working for the Hunter.
soldier.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, Soldier. That's it. Yeah, trust me, you'll love the ending for that. Trust me, you'll love the identities and everything. What else was I gonna say? Yeah,
I think
and
the most annoying book, it was for me because it's just what was that? Colorblind. Because at one point it was too much because I wanted to punch that guy. What was his name? Oh,
I haven't actually read Colorblind. I don't think I need to read that. There's quite a few books I haven't read.
and yeah, so hostel story with that, I think like it felt like book one was really nice, but book two it felt like the old characters they just went away. We were given new characters, new flings, new, I don't know, so it was kind of messed up in terms of that. I mean, the plot was still interesting, but I was feeling like I'm in a different place because with no Ivy, no Bella, with them I started the book. So and it was like we're in a different world, so that was really upsetting about this. But yeah, let's hope book three. But mainly, I would say, like I said, after that hostel story, I was kind of skeptical about Dream Zone. But then Half Human, it was super awesome. And again, Half Human book three, can't wait for that. And
Oh
then we
God,
have,
yeah.
yeah, Time and Time Again. I read it. It is just super awesome book. The cleverness in this book, the writing, it can be better than that. And then I am in between, like you said, Man for Hire and the Ragyu Gang. and then at the end, Devil's Deal. So it's just
Yeah,
getting
Road
better
Gang.
for me.
Have you actually fully read Road Gang, or are you a couple chapters in?
I think I'm 9 chapters in.
Yeah, that's a really interesting book. A bit again like the it lives beneath. It's a bit once you think you've got something sorted, it gets a bit back and forth, but you get there in the end. There should be a book two coming the way it ended. It was very interesting, and I'm interested to see that. But I need to catch up on the lookalikes. My bloody classmates, colorblind, and time again, and also Ubers, which
Yeah.
most of these books actually because I've left them so long, they're almost finished. So that means I'll be able to read them straight through. But
Mm.
I'm looking forward to Hostel Story 3, Devil's Deal Book 2, Project Prometheus Book 2. That needs to come out soon as well. I don't know if you've read Project Prometheus, but that
Yeah,
left off
I'm
on a really.
1 chapter in. Yeah.
I don't know how I felt about the ending of that, to be honest. I I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the like I chose the main love interest as Monica, but she was in her accident. And then just the way it left off, the giant explosion. Erica was in there being, I think she was captured or something. I know somebody was captured. Uh, I'm not sure. And then we went back in time and stuff. We met our brother, and we just left on a huge cliffhanger.
Mm.
There's just
Yeah.
more questions than answers, and it's like, whew.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel.
I mean, I would suggest you if you read any new books, you should try time and time again for really good, a really good. You would love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna read that as well as read these new books. As well, so I think one thing as well is choices and dreams. I can't really stream Dream Zone just to its very much intimate scenes. Let's just say it's very much more than the Nanny affair, and I definitely do not think Twitch would allow it. Uh, oh,
Uh,
that would be funny though.
but Hostel Story is like it was more, but other stories are still not that much explicit. But Hostel Story, every chapter, two intimate scenes, and the language would also go like totally explicit.
Yeah, I definitely think it was more realistic in the sense of the description of the scenes. It was more realistic in a way. It was very vulgar, very intimate, but also very realistic in the way it was described.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it's kind of what you hear more, I guess, in the real world. I get more bit a bit brought back, but very very intimate. But still, I love the stories as well. I know it's mainly male characters, but it is more the basic relationship of a straight relationship, and it's very more action based. I love one thing I definitely love about this book and when I got into it was the action base of it. I love the action in it. I love the drama. It's so good.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The action is good, and I have tried other apps other than Choices. I think in episode, no, not episode, chapters. There was just only one story that I liked, protecting Caroline. But other than that, most of the stories are just not as good as in Choices. But in Dream Zone, I was a little skeptical, like I'm always for any other apps. But with Hostel Story, I was still a little skeptical when I finished it. Then I stepped into half human, and then I became more hopeful, and then boom, time and time again, and Devil's Deal, and it's becoming really good so far. And I'm playing a lot of new books in Dream Zone, and the music is great in some of the books. In I think Man for Hire, there's this whistling music. It's just super awesome, and the plot is getting awesome. It's getting more intense. And at a time in Choices, there's nothing much going on. I think Dream Zone is the really good way. I think a lot of people should know about Dream Zone. It's a super awesome app.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people they'll be very questionable about it. Being biased to the male female relationship. Male characters, female allies, etc., etc. But that's the kind of they say it's a simulator for men, but I don't look at it like that. I just look at the actual story. The intimate. Most people think of it. Oh, it's for guys just to read the intimate scenes and stuff like that. But not for me, and not for some people. They'll actually read it for the story as well as the characters. Like the intimate scenes are very descriptive as well. Like they can give you some ideas for the real world, but I don't see how anybody could get really full
Yeah,
enjoyment out of that. It's the story that counts, and it's the
yeah.
one thing I really enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I go for, it's just like you said, intimate scenes. Like when you're playing it, it's just you're focusing on that. But for instance, let's take a Devil's Deal. Of course, I think intimate scenes are also important because if you're playing, the books like Devil's Deal, like it's kind of dark. And you have to deal with a lot of things. Or, for instance, It Lives Beneath, for instance, like where you deal with ghosts and stuff. So these scenes, they just take your mind off of the danger for a second, and it's just it helps your mood to swing back and forth. So you can get ready for the big fight, because if the whole book is about the same thing, I just feel it's good to have a little change. But yeah, definitely, if it was only intimate scene, no plot, then it would have collapsed completely. But there is a plot, in all the books. Man for Hire, Ragu Gang, time and time again, awesome. And then there's Devil's Deal and Half Human.
Yeah, I mean, this book, this app has definitely grown since I first read it. I actually managed, I started reading it. Like I said, when it first had the three books, it had Half Human, Hostel Story, and The Impossible Game. I read all three, and I was just so in love with these books. And then they started releasing the different series, and then they started releasing the sequels. I was like, yes, more, more, more. I remember when Hostel Story ended, I was gutted because I definitely wanted the sequel, and the sequel, it didn't go as full of a way as I wanted it to. It went more in the way I guess it was supposed to. But like I said, I'm hoping book three gives us more. I'm really excited for Impossible Game 3. That series has been really interesting. It's definitely a weird concept, but I would really love to see that have a good ending as well. In the good graces. Because for some reason, in the books I've seen so far, there's always a point where the MC and what seems to be the main LI, something's made to tear them apart. It happened with Carrie in The Devil's Deal.
Yeah.
It's happened in the Impossible Game 2 book. I won't explain how. And it's like this is supposed to be a love story. Like I get you've got a lot of you've got quite a few choices on women, but there's supposed to be at least one focus. I don't see, because like it seems like the characters people want to be with, they keep doing something that tears them apart, and it's like I hope you're at least aiming to build the relationship to back and complete it by the next book or by the end of the series, or else it's just what's the point? I mean, two instances I've seen them like Half Human. I was scared about that, but we're finally back with what we believe is
Mhm.
the real Emily. That's ended off on a positive note a bit. Um, but so far, Impossible Game, Hostel Story. Personally, Ivy's my ally for Hostel Story. I love Ivy; she's absolutely amazing. I know the whole story's a bit the main character's around Bella, so that's been forced. But I do kind of prefer Ivy just because of her background, her story, the kind of person she is. She's absolutely amazing. I hope she's still alive and survived. There's no evidence to indicate she hasn't. Uh, but and then yeah, it's just gonna be. I don't think we actually have. Oh no, there is an ally in Man for Hire, but that relationship does go a bit rocky. I won't say much else, but that is rekindled quite a bit, which is a positive note in my book, and I'm happy about that. I mean, granted, it does go pretty dark. Uh, and then yeah, it's just the one thing about Dream Zone is it's like they try and force it off. I get if they're trying to test it or trying to see how much the main character loves this LI. I can get that, but I just hope there's some more rekindling by the end of the series, or at least completion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more. Yeah, I think the plot should be same, because and I get it. Like in some books, some may love interests are bound to be the main one. Like they're gonna focus on that love interest particularly. For instance, Emily in Half Human. But I think in some other books, for instance, Man for Hire, where you have more than one options to choose from, or in other books, so I think at the end it should be an open thing for you, like who you want to choose, or that would only make sense instead of just there should be like being just one, or like and making a complicated line for that love interest. For instance, in this book, Devil's Deal, I think a lot of people would have liked Diana too, just because she's been the partner in crime for our main character for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I think. I mean, we have been spending quite a lot of intimate time with Diana in this book too. But that could be a possibility. I mean, I think Manuel, our best friend, has a bit of a crush on her as well, but I don't think he's enough to go for it. So I'm curious to see how that goes. I mean, it's just interesting to see. And just I really want I want these books. Like I know it's kind of biased. I want the good ending. But I don't. It's not so much I want the good ending. I just want a fully complete and rekindled relationship by the end of it. Whether it goes good or bad, it can go either way. But just as
Yeah.
long as they're together, the relationship's healed, and just it's complete, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This breaking and then mending thing is happening, but I think the worst one is definitely Ivy because it just doesn't make any sense either. I mean, with Emily, this they show us that we're finally together, but either Ivy or Bella, we don't even
Mhm.
see them in the book too. That's the most you know depressing thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we catch back up with the senator's daughter, um, but it's like we don't, we still don't manage to, find who we're looking for. I mean, we found the others. We found Trish. We found Xanthia. We've got Penelope back. And we've also not seen Elizabeth. I can only assume she's either been killed for. Actually, she was captured, so most likely she's either been killed or she's been redistributed in the Silkway. That could have gone either way. Kind of iffy about that because I didn't mind her. I know she betrayed us, but when we captured her, I wanted to give her a bit of a second chance because she was a good person. She was just trying to make herself good, but then she got roped into this bad business. But I mean, she still condoned it, but eh, kind of mixed feelings about that. And then the way we end off just doesn't feel good. Somehow we take a Mafia 3 style ending, we get a bullet to the head, but we still survive, and we spend the whole game quote dead. Only to be brought back to life to get put back on the run. It's like not sure where they're
Yeah,
going with this. I mean, I guess they're trying to put it out for the book 3, but still, I hope there's a decent ending.
yeah, yeah. I think like book one properly, but I think book two just it kind of was, and I think that's why they tried to end book two where they end book one, and then they want to pick it up from at the end of book one because I think they completely went on a route in book two that kind of different from what they did in book one. That was so good.
It seems book 2 is more like a canon side story. Like it's canon, but it's what's it called? It's like the side story, and it continues on parts of the main story. Perhaps you probably won't see, or parts like over a time period. So maybe technically, book 2 starts in Moscow when you're on the run, and that book 2 was just a filler in for what happened in that time period. That more what it seems like to me, really.
Yep, that'd be fun. But I hope, like you said, at the end, we would like to get back to Ivy and Bella because that's our original goal. That's we meet at first, so that'd be fun.
Mm. Definitely just see how this book plays out and how the rest play out. It's just, I guess only time will tell.
Yep, that's totally it. And somewhere else in choices, uh, the nanny affair, the chapter one we discussed, and then chapter two and chapter three. How is it going? The housewarming party is next, and the publicist and the meeting of the shareholder meeting. We had those chapters. How did you feel about that?
Oh yeah, this has been spicing up really well. I mean, did we talk about chapter 2 last time?
No,
Or did we? No, we
chapter
didn't.
one.
That's Oh no, we've got all three to talk about then. Yippee! So we started off. It started off interesting. We're starting to send the kids off to school. We have a little final park moment before they go off, trying to boost Mason's confidence mainly because we find out they're being separated, which is interesting, but also kind of good. It's good for the twins, because the twins they spend a lot of time together. They do need to build up, the kind of reliance alone, but it can be tough. And we can boost Mason with the diamond scene, which I did, which I thankfully did. We got it all done over, and it's playing out well so far. And then we go to shareholders meeting, which is basically just a little meeting. It was just a lure to get us there. Robin, rather smite, pretty jealous that we were there. Which is kind of I don't know what the word is, but it's a bit. You can't really see how she has the right to be mad. when she's the one who started all this before us, and like she continued it on, so she knows exactly the thing. I loved how Mr. Dalton was just like, "Yes, she's here, and please note to self, your opinion means nothing." So that was quite good, It's like, "Shut up, Robin. I'm here. Deal with it." And then we get told one thing I was happy about was the fact that this is turning into a competition. I'm like, competition, GGEZ Team Sam. She's got a very variety of main characters and readers at her side. I don't see how she can lose. I think even with the diamond scenes, I think they'll just boost it. But I think Sam will win overall. But too easy, Robin, too easy. And then we start to work on the actual relationship. We it should be interesting to see. We also pick up the kids from school. Mason's got himself a little crush, which is I think a lot of people found was kind of cute. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
He likes a little girl. He likes girl. We also even run into the snide little parents of the academy. One of them who's like a queen, who thinks herself like a queen bee, uh, which is kind of annoying. But I love how the others were kind of trying to keep a neutral vote because they don't really know much. And we even had Jordan on our side, but again, still something up with Jordan. I mean, waiting to see it, but for now we're on good terms. Then we finally get back. We have a quite a fun-filled day together. We lounge out on the couch, and that's when Sam, is like, let's take this the right way, and we'll get a publicist. And then we finally go in. We meet the publicist. Also, we spent some time in the labs debating what division to go in, as well as a nice little moment where she's gone with the robotics division, where a little intimate crime started, which was kind of funny. And then we got to meet the publicist. Naya. She was an interesting character. She had some interesting ideas for what I thought. I didn't really know how this would go, to be honest. How do you publicize a scandal couple going live? It's very interesting. I was interested in her methods. I thought they were very solidified. She was definitely an interesting character. The full makeover of Sam. That was a nice touch, I think. And then we got to see the new Sam, and she definitely looks more. What's the word? Real in a
Charming.
way.
Oh,
Charming,
real.
yeah. Yeah, real and charming. Her
Yeah.
outfit is a good mix of casual but also professional. I liked her. I like her. Her formal suit.
Yeah.
It's nice, but I think this one kind of brings out the more real her or him in this case. And then things space out. We got to meet the boys again back at the apartment. We find Jordan, who's cleaning up a mess under their sheets, which or she in my case, she's still got a lot to learn about dealing with these little monkeys.
Mm.
And then that's when we find Naya, who drops off the documents, and it's like, you two are still living together. Oh, you need to move out. I'm like, excuse me, what did you just say to me? You telling me to move out after I just got settled in? Are you feeling okay, this publicist brain of yours? And then she's like, you need to solidify yourselves. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense, but it doesn't mean I want to agree with it. And then no, we get the chance to go to an apartment which is quite close to Dalton Enterprises and Dalto Russo's Incorporated,
Yeah.
and also a view of Sam apartment. So it's not like the distance is a whole bad thing. And I did overall, in a way, I'd kind of like the privacy. Don't get me wrong, I'd like being with a partner, but we'd also get our private space. Wouldn't have to worry about noise. Much. Wouldn't have to worry about what I do. Still get to spend time with them. The apartment
Yeah.
itself, I went with the diamond apartment. It was very nice. I loved the kitchen as well. The kitchen had a very homey vibe about it. Just a very beautiful, the wood textures, and the bedroom. The bedroom was the one from. Well, I saw it in Witness, but I can't remember where else it's been from. It was a nice bedroom. We had Sam and the boys come over. The boys made it their mission to mess it up or try and mess it up again. Little cheeky devils. When we had a intimate casual moment with Sam, we had dinner, we had our little moment together, talked about how we, still gonna spend time together. We're just not living together. The fact that she said this may last a couple months to a year was kind of concerning. I don't see why it should take this long to get back into
Yeah.
the public's eye for a relationship. But I don't think it will last that long. Actually, debating on where it said, this should all end this should actually end in a couple months. This should be about 3 months because the way I think Mr. Dalton said, because this is going to end, which is what we confirmed it on a gala, not a gala, sorry, a holiday, the holiday event of December, which is
Yeah.
going to be what we heard was the last episode, and that's in 3 months. So that means this is only going to be a 3 month thing. So that also confirms the ending being, it should be a good ending, unless they want to boost it off to a third book or at least a mini book leading on to marriage and laying it off the lives, which again I don't think anybody would mind. So that's going to be interesting to see, and then nice that's giving us a bit more details on what's going on. We have to try and win over the people at Stirling Academy, including that woman who I can't remember if MC said it, but I think she said it might be a bit worse than Sophia. And I didn't know how to feel when we first went to Naya and was like, Zofia Russo, she's a liability. Personally, I would have said take her out, get her out of the equation, but I said to leave her alone in this instance. I'm not sure I don't know if that's going to impact us.
No.
I'm curious. I'm still surprised she went on the honeymoon alone. I'm surprised she even has a heart to feel sad. But
Yeah.
we won't. I did kind of feel a bit of pity for her, but she kind of deserved it in a way. Then it's like I personally said, leave her alone. Even though I personally think to cut off all liabilities and loose ends as soon as possible, cover yourself. But I kind of had a change of heart in this instance. I blame Kat. And then we kind of went on saying, we've got to win over the parents still in the academy. They're the type of people want to impress. And it's like, okay, so how do we do that? Simple. You're going to throw a housewarming party. I'm sorry, what? A party? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm down for a party, but for a bunch of sophisticated people, it's not my forte. I'm more of a crazy basher party kind of guy, just get some party food, typical party style, dancing, not making it a charity gala in an apartment for a bunch of high-class parents. And, that's where we left off. And then the next chapter, housewarming, where we have to try and... That's coming out this Friday. Sadly, no slow burn. That's done now. Gutted. I'm actually gutted about that still. But we've got that ending, and then we've got to chapter. Then see how that plays out, and then hopefully chapter 5. Which, damn it, I was looking to see if the title's been released yet, but it hasn't. I suppose I'll get released close to the day. I always love going to see what the next chapter's about. The little descriptions. It's like And so we're left to having a party on Friday. Who's coming?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's going to be a very scandalous proposal like thing.
Like that could be a thing. I mean, yeah, granted, we've still got the, it's still gonna be scandalous in its own way, because we're together.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll still be a bit better because we're trying to, go through this better, in a, properly, in a way.
Yeah.
So it should go smoothly. But of course, it's going to depend on how the relationship goes now because we're going to kind of be separated. And one thing I've learned is long distance relationships, like it's not long distance, but still distant type relationships can be difficult in a way. I mean, we already had that, and now we're together but living away from each other, but still seeing each other. A lot of possibilities, and a lot could be going on. That's all I'm going to say.
Definitely. One thing I would like to ask you: there's been this, this one thing that this chapter pace, specifically for chapter 3, it was kind of, not a lot of, let's just say, like how they were expecting, because book 1 was like a boom, like every chapter, like more things happening, more, but it was kind of trivial, and more than that, the chapter pace was really, slow, and things what happened in the chapter like really short. So, what did you feel about that personally?
Personally, I think given the current situation and the fact that I like Nanny Fair and I just like to go slow, I mean, there's not much. There is a set plot now. There's like a full-on set plot, so it makes sense, and I do like the fact that they're taking this slowly. We want this to work out. We want the main character to be with Sam. We don't have to worry about full-on cheating or any breakups. I think it'll still have its positive ending, given the message at the start of the book. I like the pacing personally. I mean, granted, I don't like being teased and waiting. That's about the only thing I don't like, and as well as other people. But I am I do like the way they're going with it. Set for the story, it makes sense, and I thought it all plays out well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, by the way, one more thing there was there. Addison. I think Sam's first wife, Addison. They
Ah,
mentioned her.
yeah, that definitely got me. We finally got some insight into her past wife, who has been named Addison, who
Yeah,
apparently has gone through this as well. I mean, I can't remember if this was with, yeah, this was with Sam. This happened with Sam before, so it feels like a bit of deja vu. But that's kind of why Sam knew that she was the best publicist. But this was hard for her past wife Addison, and that's why it's already given me some theories as to what's kind of going on. Um, so like we've even we had the conversation with Sam. It's like you don't like to talk about it a bit, but she's like she starts to open up a bit. Addison was scared. She was even sometimes scared to leave the apartment. I mean, and after she had the twin. Wait, after I can't remember who had the twins. I don't think they actually said who has the twins. Anyway, they might. We'll ask that question later. Uh, but yeah, it was really deep, and then it's kind of got me thinking that kind of effect that's had on her, the fact she didn't happen. It's leading me to believe there's a possibility, and I don't like to say this kindly, but I'm thinking this could go the way of suicide, if you get what I mean. Because the way she described it had a huge impact on her mental health, and it affected her badly. So I'm thinking there's a few possibilities. She could have committed suicide, or she could have had an accident at the train station, or like with the subway, or she may have committed suicide on the subway or near the subway, which is kind of my strongest theory so far. But so far, that's the kind of thing I'm getting based on how it's described. It sounds like it was not easy at all. She didn't want to leave the apartment. She was so scared. It had a huge drain on her mental health. Even with a partner and with the kids, that can still drive someone over the edge, I think. So that is the current thing I've got so far. Dark, but I guess in a way accurate.
hmm. Yeah. Didn't they mention like died in some kind of crash or something in book one? I can't remember, but
They
did they mention that?
never, no, they never actually mentioned the details. They just said the loss of their mother or the, her passing out. I don't remember it being tragic or anything. I mean, obviously it would have been tragic, but still, there was never any explicit detail about the incident itself, so we don't know. It could have been suicide. It could have been an accident. We don't know yet. We just have to see. But I'm interested to
Oh yeah.
see and hoping to get a bit more background into her and her family. It's interesting to hear about this. I'm glad we got a name though, and I'm glad we got some insight into it. It's really deep.
Oh yeah. I mean, what you said, if that's true, then it's going to be really an interesting book, and the plot is going to be like you said, it's going to be dark, and anything could happen from here on. And it'll be super awesome if that happens.
Yeah, and especially if this goes into like suicide territory, this is going to have a huge effect on Sam, which can honestly God understand like the kind of downfall. And honestly, this could go a lot of ways, and this could be really deep. But it's about. But I guess one thing about it's about being there for the partner. It's like MC being there for Sam, or in my case, she's called Bella. Let's call her Bella so I can not lose my train of thought. Bella being there for Sam, being together. It's going to be really interesting to see. I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing we would have to see that how if that's the case, the pressure, the media attention, then when that they grow the traction, if also M's relationship, it gets traction this time with media, then how M's is going to act, or maybe in some way that would lead up to the revelation of Addison's death, or like it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, it's just because we're still at the early chapters, so it's just setting up the plot. So we're definitely like really excited for what's going to come. Like after chapter 6 or 7, I think we'll see it in its full glory, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's building up really well so far. I'm really excited to see how it plays out. I'm loving each chapter each week. It's something to always look forward to. I'm just really curious now.
Hmm. Yeah, that'd be fun. And also, I think slow burn is off, but guess what is back? Laws of Attraction's back this Wednesday. It's gonna be fun, and with the big case. And if I'm right, it's gonna be 1 month and 2 more days, 2 more weeks, because I think we will start chapter 9 or 10 this week. So it's gonna be fun. The end stretch is here.
Yes, finally after so long, there was a leak actually. If you want to go check it out, it's on Instagram. I can't remember the name, but they actually released a Laws of Attraction leak of a cabin belonging to Sadie, and it is immensely. It's huge. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. And it's going to be interesting to see how the story goes. We're defending the star boyfriend who's been accused, who's a major suspect, and with how the trailer went and with possible possibilities, there could be a fling. I don't think there's going to be a real actual Li thing with him or her. No, it's him. Sorry, but I do think it may get a bit in. It could get intimate with diamond scenes if anyone's going to take them. But no, Aslan number one. That's all I'm saying. Aslan number one. Happy to have Aslan back. Happy to be back.
Yeah,
It's going to be
and
great.
probably the Tyler is also a fling, the who just got one scene as opposed to Lena Reyes, who got 2 scenes. So it will be interesting to see if Tyler also gets one scene, because we'll have to see.
I guess it kind of makes sense in that profession because Lena is a lawyer. It would make sense that you'd bump into her quite a bit after going through cases, them in the event, and look on the bright side. At least going against her, you'd be getting something fun after, win or lose.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's a win-win.
Yep, definitely. It would be fun. And also, if there's, like you said, new flings, or like how I don't think this late there will be another love interest. But yeah, it could only be flings or like something, because we're going to Hollywood. So we can have just like another one night something stuff, because it's just like in dream zones we have oftentimes.
Definitely, it's going to be really interesting to see. Happy to have it back after its
Yeah,
I'd say a long hiatus. It's been what 3 weeks, nearly a month,
yeah.
which
I
was
think
which isn't
yeah.
too bad. I mean, they just wanted. I'm pretty sure they just wanted to finish off Slow Burn and make sure the Nanny Affair launched good and great, which it did, in my opinion. And Slow Burn ended off perfectly. So I'd say this has gone quite well for the hiatus. It's come back in a perfect time. Nanny Affair's on a good roll. Slow Burn's had a perfect end. Makes sense. And we've also got Shipwrecked coming real soon.
Yeah, because there has been really long hiatuses, and that like it was like 1 month, 1.5 month. Like I'm really glad they did not do that with this book.
Yeah, thank God for that. Like I was worried it's going to be like a month or two, maybe into when the new books come out, but nope. We hopefully we'll get it finished. I personally think it should finish before Shipwrecked, and then we start because that's been one of the
Mhm.
main major books coming up. So I think once Laws of Attraction ends, we'll have Shipwrecked and then Nanny Affair,
Could be.
or the Royal Finale because that's coming out as well. So I think the Nanny Affair, the Royal Finale, then Shipwreck coming out, but Laws of
Yeah,
Attraction as well.
everything. Yeah, but I also think that Laws of Attraction, like the last 9 chapters or 8 chapters, it wasn't. It helped to set up the pace. We had interesting stuff. We went back and forth with Gabe, back and forth with Ashley, back and forth with our flings and stuff. We solved cases. But I think Laws of Attraction. I think this is. I mean, really, it's starting. I mean, it's ironic that it went into hiatus and it's starting now. So if you can think of this as like as if it's just starting from the beginning or all over again, because and it's truly going to be the start, because what they showed in the trailer, the high class killing and all those and the dark secret that we're going to uncover that we had never imagined before. We couldn't have imagined that before. So it's really going to be the defining moment. And I mean, so far, whatever happened in Laws of Attraction, people liked it, other people didn't like it. Everyone's gonna forget everything. No one's gonna remember anything, because this is gonna be a fresh start. And if they can hit it, then even the people who didn't play the book, they would come back later to see, wow, this book had a gun blazing ending with a great mystery, with like something mind blowing something. So I'm really excited what they are up to, because they had time, they did their work, and I have this hunch that they just they had a like a really beautiful cake, and they just took time, put cherry on top, designed it, and it's the best outcome they're going to present to us starting from this week. Can't wait for it, truly.
Yeah, and I was happy to hear that Kat's slowly catching back up. I think she's up to about chapter 3, at
Oh,
least, but she's catching back up. Kat, you've got a few days. Get cracking. Come on.
oh,
Honestly.
I don't think she's gonna go to chapter 8. It's just Wednesday. I mean, it's really close.
I mean, yeah, she could always buy up some spare time. I mean, after all, she has what's it called? She's finished her perfect match playthrough now. I honest to God thought I could beat her. So close, so close. Ah, almost overtook her, almost. But she finished her perfect match book one. I think she may be going to book two. I'm not too sure. I think we'll have to wait and see. This Thursday coming, and that's gonna be interesting to see. So one thing I like to do as well, without repeating myself, I wanted to try and space out my streams, like to try and so I didn't overlap anybody. So I said to go with Tuesdays and Saturdays. Because like we've also got Eric. Oh, I
The
can't
freshman, the
pronounce.
freshman.
Yeah, doing the freshman. He's starting his new streams up as well. I can't remember his Twitter name. I can't pronounce it. But he is starting to do Wednesday streams with the freshmen. We've got Unique Saiyan, who's starting to do Friday streams. He's currently reading My First Two Loves. Uh,
Oh, first
yep,
loves. You gotta catch this up, because it's
yep,
really hard to read 100 chapters. So this is a good way to finish it.
yep. We also have, and then we've got me doing Saturdays and Tuesdays choices. We also have V Play Choices podcast, who does Saturday mornings. I think. Yeah, she does Saturday morning podcast. She's currently on a break, taking some time off. So I kind of, filled in that spot. I may move my streams to afternoons for Saturdays to kind of fit in with the schedule. So I'd say the week's fully kind of stretched out for choices now.
Mhm.
Uh, we have Sundays. You only have Sundays and Mondays off, really, unless V has her podcast then, which I think she might do. But yeah, I'd say choices is pretty filled now in terms of content filled. Then we've got Cat on
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah. I actually didn't hear about the My to First Loves thing, but oh wow, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, yeah. I heard like Eric's. He put up a poll about what is it called? The Freshman, and this is a really old and gold series, so it's gonna be a lot of nostalgia. Old feeling about a lot of people. So it's gonna be fun there. And yeah, perfect match for Cat, and of course, and yeah, for you, what to come? It's this interesting series, a very scandalous proposal, and Sun Kids, no, shipwrecked, and it's gonna be fun.
Definitely excited. I'm gonna read the Unexpected Heiress with that sequel coming out.
I
Probably
have
do
an
that.
idea, by the way. Why don't you? I mean, it's gonna be pretty hard, but for any upcoming, like you have Wake the Dead and the Crimes of Passion. That if by the way, a fun fact, if you you know how we like create one abbreviation for all the books. So
Mm.
if you abbreviate Crimes of Passion, you get COP.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
so anyways, like I was saying, like if you like the ones who are doing these playthroughs, if you come together for any of the like super pack book, for instance, the super pack book of this year, Crimes of Passion, or Wake the Day that is going to be released around the Halloween, and sort of do a stream together. I mean, you can assign like who is going to voice who. It's going to be hard, kind of, I know, and who
Mm.
is going to read the script. So it'll be super fun. I mean, it'll be like a blast cameo from everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I know Kat does hers. We've got Jacob, Unique saying who does his. We've got Eric as well. I also know Cupcake as well, who's a friend of Kat's and someone I met a while ago who does streams as well.
Yeah.
But she also voices on Cat streams sometimes.
I
Yeah, for, the,
mean,
for some of the bigger books, we could do like we could do our own playthroughs, but then we could also do a joint playthrough at some point, possibly. That
yeah,
yeah, 'cause I
yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah,
It,
that.
it's like for one book because for all the books it's gonna be hard. But one super pack book, like the most anticipated book of this year, and I don't know, it's gonna be between Crimes of Passion and The Wake the Dead because these two books are like the super pack books of this year.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds interesting. Could get people like Choices Lady, Jordan freaking Valentine. There's quite a few people we could bring in. Could do a Super Jam party book. There's yeah. I'll have to. I'll present that idea to them. We could give that a try. that's actually really interesting. I think maybe I mean, oof, that's a tough one. I mean, Kat's pretty much tied between Crowns of Passion and Wait the Dead. She's a mystery person, but she's also the zombie kind of guy, kind of gal. I can't
Yeah,
speak anymore. But yeah, we'll have to pick a book. We'll have to go through that as well. That's interesting. Mm,
that'd be
interesting
super
concept.
awesome. Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be super awesome.
definitely an
Yeah, and
interesting concept.
and I can guarantee, with the dead, I think there's gonna be a British character for sure. There has to be.
If there's a British character, I have no doubt people want me to read that.
Of course, there's gonna be. I mean, I was just a hunch because there's mystery books specifically for. They have one British characters always. I've seen that in one or another.
Mm. Yeah, I could fill the role of the British character. I mean, people have been saying I've done a nice job with various kinds of proposals, so don't think it could hurt to do some more.
Yeah. By the way, you chose Simon, not Ava, right? It is just because of the voice.
I chose Simon for the voice. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, but I liked when I think in chapter three, no, chapter two or three, when main character goes to somewhere to talk with Mitzi. After we first meet the grandpa and grandma of Ava or Simon.
mm.
So then the Mitzi's voice, it was super awesome. I like that.
Yeah. I was debating whether to try and go full into a posh accent or try and do like a for all the characters. I mean, I think I could the Gerald one. I can feel doing a lot easier. It's like a just a hard struck, deepish posh voice. In terms of
Mm,
Simon, I try and keep it neutral but also pleasant. I guess some of the British terms make it a little easier in a way. I guess the only thing missing would be a Mrs. Cat or somebody to do the American accent for my main character, Allison.
yeah.
Uh, but I guess in a way we've also got V there, V the podcast host and V the Whippet. So double
Yeah.
trouble. Better keep an eye out.
Double trouble, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, by the way, Tommy, he like his character design. I mean, the vibe he gives, it was quite resonated well with Tommy, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of he's like the chill kind of guy you have. Just has fun, looks out for his friends or thinks he does, and then just he's like he tries to have this chill vibe and does the right well, does what he
Yeah,
thinks is right anyway.
his hips, yeah, it's like definitely, it's just, yeah, that was awesome. Yep. So I'm looking forward to it's tomorrow's Tuesday. So tomorrow's you're gonna conclude our very scandalous proposals. All right?
That is correct. 3
Okay.
p.m. around 3 p.m.
Okay.
Greenwich Mean Time, UK time. So that should be really interesting. Be able to start off some people's mornings with a nice ending, hopefully.
Okay. Wait a second. So so tomorrow, after 10 minutes from now, you're gonna do the stream, right?
What time is it now? It's 3:50 actually. So 50 minutes from now.
Oh damn. Wait, since 1:30, it was 2:30, 3:30. Yeah. You're right. A miscalculation by me. My bad.
Yeah, that's cool. But I've also said if anyone would like to really be at the streams or are having difficulties with work, I can always push the times or alter them. It's not a problem. If it works out better for everybody else, then that works fine by me. 'Cause I have a pretty pretty free schedule, to alter it. So I'm happy to alter it in the way that people can try and make the
Mm,
streams more. I'll be able to at
yeah,
least let by, so they can enjoy
yeah,
it.
definitely. But I think also, the stream, if you're gonna put it on YouTube, then it's gonna be super fun. Anyone can catch it anytime, in their own way. Just they can just pause it, play it back, rewind it, just have fun with it.
Yeah, I plan to do a lot with YouTube. I plan to post a lot of my casts because a lot of people have been asking me to post on my Rainbow Six side a grand final I casted, which was, in my opinion, I think one of my best casts. I felt very enthusiastic about it. A lot of people said I hyped it up a bit, like quite a lot, from what seemed to be just a console cast. So I'll pop that up, pop up. Choice has gone up first though, and then I'll keep my mix of choices and siege, but also some other related content. See what there is.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Just you're gonna have to design that on YouTube.
Mm. Just gotta wait
Yeah.
and see.
Definitely. So the week we're gonna have ahead, starting from tomorrow, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna start with your stream, then a very no, yeah, a very scandalous proposal. The usual release from choices, then welcome back of laws of attraction, then the nanny affairs, and then I think in between we have a cat stream, and then again Saturday. I think it's gonna be more interesting because you're going to probably start a new book. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think I
Back.
might put a. I'm thinking unexpected errors, but I might put a poll up of a few books, or yeah, give people some options to give some recommendations. I think I might go the unexpected errors though, because I do want to kind of I want to appeal to some of the new books. Like some once the new books are out, I'm going to be doing the episodes. So like Saturdays, I'll do the new books, and then Tuesdays, I'll do the throwbacks. Like my current episode is just Tuesdays and Saturdays of the main book, but once the new books come out, that will be a nice system to get into.
Mhm.
Saturdays I do one book. Or two books of the live of how the week's gone, give a week review, and then Tuesdays I go on to an older
Oh,
book that I'm reading.
yeah.
So a good mix of the old and new.
Yeah. Always gold. Yeah, definitely. And I can't wait specifically for Shipwrecked. This book's, weekly sort of, walk through by you. And of course, in between whatever old books you play, for instance, The Unexpected Heirs, like more British based books. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I guess in a way, if we were going to like co-collaborate a bunch of people for a book, maybe Shipwrecked would be the one, because it's a bunch of people, shipwrecked. We're all in a group, we're all together. People might know each other, but people might not know each other. I guess it would make sense for like a conversation type to come from there. I'll look
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be fun. Just gotta get my popcorn ready for that.
Yes, I'll have to get talking, see who's up for some fun. And yeah, there's a lot to look for this future and for choices as well. There's a lot. Dream Zone. There's just so much to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Dream Zone. Yeah, I just can't wait for Thursday. Also, I forgot to mention because
Devil's Deal.
uh, yeah, Devil's Deal. I think they are calling it on the poster Devil's Game.
I think it's still Devil's Deal Book 2. I'll double check. Uh, nope,
Yeah,
Devil's Deal Book 2. With a
Devil's.
picture of a demon, which I can only assume is MC's mother, in a way. Or something.
Oh,
Or a tease of it.
yeah,
Should be
it's gonna
interesting.
be fun.
Gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to
it's
see.
definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to find out what happens to Diana. I think she's gonna be safe because we tend to her, give her the first aid. So probably she's gonna be a little, sick. Wouldn't be, doing her hunting and helping us for next few chapters. But I'm pretty sure like she's gonna be safe.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like she wanted us to get her from the crime scene, but it's like knowing Carrie, she's gonna come to us anyway. She'll probably tell us. I just hope MC can put on a good brave face and be like, "What?" and then act like he super cares and like he really cares about her, like a good friend,
Yeah,
and he, just plays it cool, plays it cool.
yeah, definitely. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, so we have a very exciting week ahead, starting from tomorrow. Be it choices, be it Dream Zone, be it Twitch on the streams. It's gonna be super fun in these three platforms. I just can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun to have everyone come together. Bringing all the communities together, Instagram, Twitter, just bringing everyone together, bringing in people from all over Twitch, just
Mhm.
bringing the choices communities together, bringing them back, building them back up, and it's just so nice to see, really heartwarming.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely. Uh, Thanks for coming today to discuss about those weekly books, and about choices, dreams, and everything. It was a fun, almost 2 hours talking to you. Thanks for coming again.
Yeah, as always, thanks for having me. Just sorry for leaving it so long. I've missed it. Just been sorting a few things out, but everything should be back to
Oh
normal
no.
now. We can keep
Yeah.
enjoying this.
I think we just missed 1 week in between because the other one I think we just talked about nanny affairs. Macule joined us. I think
Yeah,
Max joined us. Yeah, so it was just 1 week.
I'll have to get Matt back on here for some in-depth sites onto some older books as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna be linking Brandon's Twitch link for a very scandalous proposal and potentially more books to come there and some other games also. and it's gonna be fun. Thanks for that, and we'll see you tomorrow in the Twitch game. Probably watching it. I don't have Twitch, so it's a browser app. But then when you upload on YouTube, we'll be having the full fun there.
Yeah, as always, can't wait to see everybody there. Come say hi. We can have some conversations. All sorts. Look forward to it.
Yep, definitely. All right, thanks. Have a good day and have a nice week. Enjoy the week. It's gonna be a blast.
Yep, you too. I hope look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep, thank you, thank you. Thanks for coming as always. Bye. Stay
Bye
safe.
bye.
Take care. Bye.